Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I'm glad you're here today. And today we have another piece of turquoise from the number 8 mine. And yep, we're gonna work on this piece of turquoise today. That's the plan anyway. So let's take a look at it a little bit closer and see what we've got. Oh, we've got I think it's a pretty nice piece. It's got those little dotty turquoise pieces all through it. And I'm not sure what it's called. All the turquoise people out there are screaming the name, and I don't know what it is. But anyway, we do have a big gnarly divot, and people contact me on the phone. A big gnarly divot right here. So no matter what, I'm going to have to get rid of this giant gnarlification in there to do something with this piece. And as I looked at it, I'm like, I've got an idea. Yes, really, I've got an idea. Don't know if it's going to be a good idea, but it's an idea nonetheless. And seeing as how we've got beautiful markings on either side, I hate to just pick one side and go with it. So I am going to try my idea out and see how it works. So the next thing to do is to take this over to the wheel and see what kind of mess I can get into. So let's go over to the wheel and let's get on it. Okay? Okay. Well, as you can see, there's a little bit of this cut. And that's because I came over here, set all the camera up and everything, and was so concerned about getting this gnarly out that I forgot to turn on the camera. Yeah. So, all I had done so far was cut down into it and try to get rid of some of this gnarly here. So let me readjust the camera slightly. Okay, is the focus going? Come on, Mr. Focus. There. So I'm going to continue to work on getting that gnarly out of there. And as I said, and you didn't hear before, I will have to be careful and use a very light touch on here because this 80 grit wheel is nasty on this turquoise. And I was really thinking about, if you see, I've got the turquoise on this side comes to here, and the turquoise on this side comes to here. So I'm thinking about taking some of this away, which I think I'm going to do. And that will help me keep the nice looking blue in the picture more to work with the idea that I have. Okay, so I'm going to work on doing that for this moment. And as you can see, we are getting... that gnarly is getting less and less, but still pretty darn deep. Really got the deep gnarlies going. And this is natural turquoise. This is not stabilized. I'll work this direction just a little bit. And great, now I got a tombstone going. Nearly got the gnarly knocked out. Okay, I'm going to work that just a little bit more that way. Okay, the gnarly is pretty much gone. I'm going to bring this side over just a little bit and see if I can get the shape that I want. All you people who work turquoise all the time, I don't know if you're screaming inside right now or not. I'm going to work this side just a hair bit. Try to get an overall picture of what I'm trying to accomplish. This turquoise has a unique smell to it when you're cutting it. Okay, this is sort of what I was going for, shape-wise. I don't need this angled piece at the top, so I'm going to try and flatten that out a little bit. Try to keep my shape as symmetrical as possible. Okay, this is pretty much what I was going for, except I'd like to get this shape here more on this side, so that means I'm going to have to take a little bit more of this away here. Looking better. I still don't particularly like the shape that I've got, so I'm going to have to do a little more cutting away. I might just call it a day at that, because I don't want to take away too much. Okay, that's sort of what I'm going for. I may leave that, what gnarly is left in there. Although I'm afraid that is going to interfere with what I want. Oh, I'm going to take it down a little bit more. Well, maybe that's all the more I needed to go. Even that side up. Okay, I think we have a very symmetrical shape. Pretty much symmetrical. And I don't know if I want to do too much more on this wheel to take out more of that gnarly. So that being the case, we are going to go over to the 600 grit wheel. Okay, so I'm going to put that down. And now I'm going to jiggle your eyeballs out as I adjust the camera, which is a lot less jiggly than it used to be. Okay, there we're set. Alrighty now. Why is the valve on this one giving me trouble now? Good grief. Not like I said, I haven't been out here for weeks, so everything's sticking and stuck and nasty, gnarly, yucky. Okay. Okay, now we're good. Alright, so let me smooth down these sides a little bit. That side seems pretty smooth. And so does that. Blend that into there. Come down here. Okay, and then I can't remember if I did this side or not. No, we're going to do it again. And then this here top thingy-doo. Right, let's take a look. Okay, that wasn't exactly what I was going for, but I think that will do for what I was going for. Yep. And I still got that deep gnarly there that is going to give me problems. So I'm going to take a little bit more of that away. Oh, I know, it's dreadful. If it wouldn't be right there, I could probably get away with it, but it's right in the area that's going to be important when I do my idea here. So let's see, are we fairly even? Fairly even. Can't believe I forgot to turn the camera on. Hey, it's been one of those days. 6 weeks of being sick. Actually, 3.5 weeks of being sick, and like 2.5 weeks of carrying Mom on my back because she threw her back out after being sick and could not walk. And I mean, could not walk, could not stand up, and could not sit. So she had to lay down, and I had to pick her up and put her on my back and carry her in a fireman's carry to the doctor, which was a couple days a week. So I've had quite an exciting month and a half. Okay, I think I've got that. Now, I'm going to go over and mark this, and then you'll see what my idea is. So here's what we got, and I shall be right back. So don't go away. Alrighty, I am back, and I have this marked. Focus. And basically, it's just a center line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do a two-sided stone using that center line pretty much as my girdle line. And I'm going to attempt to bring this down, edge down, right to that line. And I need more water. Right to that line or right above that line, and maybe have a little tiny flat edge between the two sides. So that's all going to be determined by how it comes out. Now I got somewhat of a edge there. I'll work on a steeper edge. Before I go into making the dome. And if I'm talking slow, that's because I am really thinking about what I am doing here. Okay, I may have that down enough that I can start to dome this. Maybe not. Maybe I do. The only way to find out is by doing it. So as you can see, what I'm trying for here is I am basically trying to make a two-sided pendant. And I thought I would get sort of a dog tooth shaped out of it. Dog tooth shape out of it. Or maybe even a marquee shape. But I was having to wait to see what the stone wanted to do. And the stone wanted to be this shape. And to get a decent dome, I may have to go farther down towards the line there. Boy, I'm a bit rusty with cutting. Like I said, it's been, I'll bet you 6 weeks since I've been out here. I've actually come out here and set a little bit, but I just was not capable of doing anything. I had sinus infections, and I get them quite frequently. But this one was very, very volatile, and both my parents and my son had it, and it sounded like a sanitarium here for quite some time. And yes, we tested for COVID, and none of us tested positive for COVID, and the antibiotics were working, so we don't think it was that. And then, basically the last couple days of antibiotics, my son did test positive for COVID, and they're like, well, we can't do anything for him now. Because if he had it for a while, then, the medication is only good the first several days. So they're like, just see how he feels. And like, wow. And none of us tested positive for it, which is a good thing. I mean, Mom's like 76 and Dad's almost 80, so we don't need them coming down with the super creeping crud. Okay, let's see what we got. Focus. Okay, that's somewhat domed. A little bit flat in the top there, so I'm gonna continue working that dome down. But I was just not capable of doing a darn thing for weeks at a time. And I get really bad sinus infections. I haven't had any for quite a while, and this is like one of the worst that I've had for years. And this is the kind I used to get. When I say frequently, I mean like every 2 to 3 months. And it was quite debilitating. Yeah. And luckily I got some allergy medications and stuff that really curtail it. And when I get them, they're very light. But this one was not light. So whatever it is now over. And Mom is, after 2.5 weeks of continual doctor visits, she is able to walk and sit again finally. And I am able to get back out here and do stuff, which I think is absolutely wonderful. Okay, focus. Alright, that is looking and feeling pretty nice. So now I'm going to start on this side. I'll do this side, get it about up to where the other side is, and then we can do the final adjusting. And I'm thinking I could put this on a stick, but I'm thinking I may not have to. That will all depend on how both sides go. How they go, I don't know. I'm bringing that edge a little bit steeper. Steeper, I say. Both sides of this stone look so nice. I hated to cover one up. Now, I don't know if this is like a traditional or normal way to cut turquoise. But I never said I knew anything, did I? I tell you what, I really do like turquoise. I like cutting this stone. Could easily become one of my favorite stones to cut, along with lapis and carnelian and amethyst and all the other stones that I like, which are lots of stones that I like. I just like stones. So I think I'm going to work both sides again just a little bit and attempt to get any facets out of there and round that dome over a little more. And I don't think I'll be putting a dop stick on it, although I could switch from side to side, but I don't think I'll need to do that. I do not like, focus, the bottom part there. I may have to, excuse me, may have to work that a little bit more there on each side. But then that's going to come out too when I hit it with the finer wheel. I can feel that I pretty much got that flat spot off the dome. Okay, what do we got looking down at this way? We've got Wow, that actually seems pretty darn even. Pretty darn even. Wow, I think we may have a stone here. I'm going to just take the rough, or take the sharp edge off of the girdle. And then we're going to go to the next wheel and start the polish and see what we got. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm liking that. I am. Okay, so let's adjust this here thingy. And we shall go over to this wheel. Oh, turn that off. We don't need that noise going. Okay, and this is the wheel of the bad valve. Oh, the bad valve is actually moving pretty good today. Maybe it moved to the other valve. I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. Alright, I'm going to do the girdle first. Let's see what it's done to it. Focus. Alrighty, so I'm going to take it off and... Take off, you hoser. Take off the... any facets I got there. Try to work that dome down to a nice shininess. The super shiny of shininess. Oh! Darn. Which side was I on? I think this side. We'll do them both. Okay, remember, this side. This side we're working on. The one that looks like Australia trying to go into Antarctica. I don't know if I'd mount this stone in something, if we would, you know, put a silver bezel around it, or just put some type of thing at the top to hold it like this. I don't know. I'm sure either one would work. Maybe the surrounding bezel would be better because it would highlight those edges and then give it a little bit more definition. Darn it. Tell you, my fingers don't work real well today. Alright, I'm going to go to the other side. I was just very happy that I had a couple of videos ahead, or I would have missed more weeks than I did. I know I missed a few there and put some... had 1 week where I just put a couple minute video on there. But I just wasn't even... I wasn't well enough to actually edit a video and sit there and do anything. It's just sad. Ah! It's sad as me dropping it every 5 seconds. I think we're pretty good for polish all around. I'll give her one more quick one. And then take it over to the 1200 grit, which we're going to do now. Get the water going. There's the water. And we will do the quickety-quick on this, and then we will hit this with the Wheel of Zam. Because the Wheel of Zam works pretty darn good for turquoise. Thanks, Fool, for that. I appreciate turning me on to the power of Zam. Oh. Okay, that wasn't good. Had like a little electricity fluctuation there. Maybe I'm dead and don't even know it. I guess I'll find out. Okie dokie. So, I think we are pretty well good. So before we hit it with the ZAM, we'll take it over to the desk and we'll take a look at it. So don't go away. Okay, we are over here and we are dried off. And let's take a bit of a closer look if I can. Yes, having a little camera trouble there. So there's what we have so far. And, you know, I think that's looking pretty nice. There's a hanging pendant, even if it's gathered up here with something, or if it has a bezel around it, I think it's going to look great. And you don't seem to have any facets. And both sides of this are beautiful, I think. So, without further ado, let's do this with the ZAM, and then we'll take a really close look at it. Okay? Okay! We have been ZAMmed, and now let's take a look at what we've got here. So, folks. Okay. And that turned out pretty darn shiny. Yes, and I think this will make a wonderful looking pendant. I mean, we've got Australia going into Antarctica there, and we've got the super spots of destiny on that side. And we have a decent edge that we can put a bezel around to make a pendant out of if we wish. And I think overall it's a pleasing shape, and I'm glad that I was able to keep both sides of this. Both sides of this wonderful looking piece of turquoise, so we could show it. I hate to like have that in a ring and only be able to see that side, or only be able to see that side, or cut that down to there and then lose that. You know what I'm talking about. But that is what we've got. Okay. Beautiful, beautiful stone. So I can definitely say that this stone is a win. So if you liked the video, hit the button down there, subscribe, ring the bell. You know, it helps the channel out, helps me out. And I'm back after 6 weeks of being completely out. My first stone that I've cut in 6 weeks. And boy, it feels good. I really have to say it feels good to be cutting some stones again. So, thank you for spending some time with me. I missed you all. And have a good evening.